What's up, Self-Care Bear Club? Party people in his house. Yeah, I said it. I said it on the internet. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to the Self-Care Bear Club. My little bears, how are you feeling out there? Energy's been energying. Yay! And today I wanted to talk a little bit about honesty. Honesty has been a big part of this self care journey for me. And in a previous episode, if you've been listening, thank you so much. I mentioned a few folks recently questioning who I was and how it in turn really made me question if they were right. And on a certain level, they were correct, if you remember. If not, I will share that story with you today. I don't share a lot specifically about my relationships for many reasons, but I always share the truth that I deem worthy of sharing. I mean, this is all about relationships, right? But specifically, I'll share maybe a little bit more because, okay, so 3 people told me that I wasn't who I said I was. One didn't even knew this was the with this person, this was like my higher self I acted like, and didn't even cross my mind. Like, it was annoying because they were annoying me and they wouldn't leave me alone, but it was like, nope, we're not even entertaining that. Like, we know you've shown who you are and we know that you're just trying to get a reaction out of me. This person was a family member, so we can call this like my old self, right? This was a family member and one that I love, obviously, and not obviously, but I do. I do, and I've really like just dealt with a lot of history. Like, a lot of things have came to fruition, right? A lot of honest truths have came to fruition, and that's really hard for me to accept as somebody who really takes accountability and wants to, I know I'm in charge of my world, right, and what comes to me. But there's also this truth that, okay, yeah, that happened, and you putting it on yourself and taking the blame for shit that's not yours, that lowers your vibration, right? So this person was a little harder because it was a family member. I've always wanted to be understood in my family. Maybe you can relate, right? I've always wanted to be understood. And so the fact that they were saying this at this point in my life where I really feel like I know who I am and I'm becoming this version of myself that's always just been waiting and always been relying on other people for validation and permission, not even validation, permission, right? And so that one stung a little bit because it was this old self that's repeatedly been told or felt, maybe this person doesn't mean it that way, right? But has always felt a dense energy around them, and they are not anything as I aspire to be, to say it truthfully, right? They are not super happy. They are not super free. We'll just leave it at that. They are not super happy and they're not super free. And so for them to question that, because again, I wasn't speaking a language that they understood, was annoying, right? There was a little truth to that because I understand what, again, this person meant by it, because there's always room for growth. There's always room to be more loving in a certain scenario, right? And at this time, I was letting what these folks were doing affect me, but also the bare minimum, I really just wasn't buying into the drama. Without telling you a whole story, I literally wasn't buying into the drama. These people are hypocritical, in my opinion, and they want everybody to cater to them and their beliefs. But then when they it's always let us be us. But then when we want to be ourselves, they're like, no, 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 don't be you. That's weird. So are you following me? So first person, didn't even entertain the idea that I was not being myself. Second person, family member, uh, kind of entertained it because it's a pattern that's been showing up. It's like since I was like, yay, hi, you can't even see, yay, hi, right? Always felt like this person was just like, can you not? Basically, like, why are you living? So basically, they were just repeating that question, and it hurt, right? It hurt. So there was that. This other person, this other person is a person who I have chosen time and time again to go back to because I believe that they believe the same things that I do, that we share the same values, and that they get it, right? This is a person who I um, have considered my best friend. And I say that with like a question mark at the end because it's very apparent, and it's been very apparent for like a long time now, that we are not. But I was chasing after something that I wanted. And that's where I've been at, right? And that's what's been holding me back from everything I truly want, I believe. So the honesty part about being super honest with yourself. Ram Dass has this quote that inspired this episode, and it's basically like rule one, like know yourself, basically, or listen to your inner voice. Rule two, be honest about it. And then be honest about being okay with change, right? This isn't me telling you to up and leave all your friends and your marriage or anything like that. I truly believe deep down that everything can be worked on and everybody can grow together. And that's why I do stay in situations, or that's why I have stayed in situations far too long when I know it's done. But I wasn't being honest with myself. I was, like, I felt it. I fucking felt bad. And I knew, like, that this wasn't going anywhere, that we no longer shared the same beliefs or the same values. You can tell when a person's walking or talking the talk and not walking the walk. And I'm not saying this 100%, right? We are human. There's so much room for error here. But again, noticing patterns. So when I was honest about what this person said to me, like, first it just hurt. It hurt a whole lot because it was just like, okay, this is supposed to be the person I chose to be my best friend. I feel like I love him, like, yada, yada, yada. We have all this history, yada, yada, yada. Like, I'm gonna keep showing up and, like, showing him, like, I'm something. I'm doing it. I am who I say I am. And then to be told that in an instance of emotion, basically, is how I remember it. It was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? And I've been there. I've done that. I've thrown things at this person's face. Like, I've used the knife. You know, when you say something you don't mean, like, again, hello. We're not perfect, right? But at this point, it was just kind of like, So I had to be honest and be like, okay, why does this hurt me so much, right? And is this true? And on a certain level, it is true. You know why? You want to know the reason why? What I just fucking talked about. Because at the core of this, I was not being the self-care bear. I really wasn't. Because I was entertaining this fool for the umpteenth time. I don't say that lightly. I love this person, and they've got a lot of great qualities. But when someone's throwing you fucking crumbs, oh my God, you don't even know the crumbs sometimes, right? Because you're just, so this was like my familiar self. This was the one that I've been hanging out with the last few years, right? This is the one that, like, knows what she's doing, but, like, is trying to be cool with everything, which is the goal, right? I can vibe at my highest no matter what's happening. But that doesn't mean you hang out in the fucking kiddie pool just because you can. So, if you're listening, if you're still listening, you're right. I was not being who I said I am, because I was listening to yo dumbass. I was listening to somebody who clearly doesn't know and doesn't care enough to realize that I'm a human also, right? Quite frankly. But for real talk, this is not about that other person. This is about me not being who I was saying I was and not being honest with myself. I felt deep down that I outgrew this, and I kept putting myself in certain scenarios, right? When they're, what is that saying about the dinner table? Like, why are you sitting at the table when it's like not your table? That's not what they say. But it was like that. It was like I kept putting myself in scenarios like, maybe, yeah, like if we could just, no. Care Bear, the self Care Bear in me knew it was time to go. But my familiar self was like, this is fine. This is fine. It's all fine. It's all fine. It wanted to keep me from being me. Your brain is a liar. It wants you to stay safe. It wants to protect you, which is a great, beautiful thing. But I need you to grow. I need you to grow. And the truth is, my friend, that some relationships cannot go with you. And even as I say that, I don't know that I fully believe that, right? What is a belief? It's a thought we keep thinking. I am a forever kind of person, and I know I will find my forever kind of tribe, but people can't go with you. Some people can't go with you. And I haven't brought a lot of people with me, so I am trying to switch the stories I tell myself and like, you know, and what are we talking about? Be honest. Honesty. And don't be afraid of change. Don't be afraid of leaving the room when you're no longer wanted. Oh, the fact that I was like not wanted and I was staying there, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And that does say stuff about me, right? That's how this person was correct in this scenario. They were like, oh yeah, I'm saying love yourself no matter what, which I was. So that's the level where he was wrong at, right? But there was this level of like, but that's not the action of love, right? You're saying these words and like, yes, you're doing this, this, and this, and this, but this really big thing that is clearly feeling icky, giving you the major ick, you're just like trying to put paint over it. Like, I read this in a book the other day, that we'll talk about that another day. But she made the analogy of like when you're trying to paint a wall and it was like this ugly green avocado color, or let's go black because black is hard to cover up, right? And you just don't prime it, you don't sand it, you don't do, I don't know a lot about painting clearly, but you don't do any of the things to get the new, fresh, shiny paint of coat to stick, right? I thought I had done all this work, and I have. I thought it would be all good and we could make it work, and I wasn't being honest that it takes two. I wasn't being honest that it wasn't me. I don't say that lightly because I believe that everything is me. So it was me. It was me because I was not valuing myself. I was allowing this behavior when I knew the honest truth that I deserve better, that I am better, and that we just couldn't be better together, right? We just couldn't be better together. And that's okay. That's okay. I'm getting to a place where that's more than okay. Like now it just gives me the ick thinking about it, you know what I mean? Because I really wasn't loving myself. So, I tip my hat to you, good sir, and anybody else who's told me I am not being who I say I am. I'm doing my fucking best, and I know you are too. So if there's people in your life who don't believe in you, because if you're a super empath like me and that shit affects you, no matter how hard you're working on it, that shit affects you, and it is a-okay to admit that. So like, cut them out somehow, spend less time with them, remind yourself. I've been reminding myself so much lately, like, no matter what anybody says, it could be as simple as like, oh, this guy's ugly today, like, hey, okay, like verbally, I don't need to argue with anybody, I don't need to speak my truth that way. I just need to remind my inner voice, like, that's an interesting thought, but it's not mine. It's not mine. You can have that thought over there. It's not mine, right? I know who I am. I know where I'm going. Some days I really don't. I don't know where I'm going. Like, I do, but I don't, you know what I mean? Like, and I am okay with that. I am okay with all of these things, and I'm being more and more honest with myself every day, as I know you are. So let me know what you're going through. Let me know the ties you need to break, whether it's an old past version of you, whether it's an actual relationship or friendship, whether it's a family member you need to set some serious boundaries with, or whether it's just that inner voice that you need to speak up in your own goddamn mind. Words don't teach, experience does. And every experience, relationship, conversation is a chance to rise up, or just be. You don't have to rise up. You are naturally rising up. Yay! Okay. Honesty is the best and only policy. So it starts with you, my friends. I love you so much. Thank you for letting me get this off my chest. I have been in a pattern of accepting crumbs, and I promise to you that we don't do that anymore. And we don't do that anymore. That was so funny. It's so funny how I've been living like 3 different versions of me, because like literally with this person it was like, no, nope. Like there was like a week or so where I was like, okay, maybe, and then like I paid attention and I was like, nah, bitch, we don't do that anymore. And this person was significantly, can I say better, like different than this person. But with this person I was like, oh, I'll just go back, I'll just bang my head against the wall a little bit more and it'll be great. And with my family member it was like, I created this space and I like this space, and now I'm trying to integrate back with you and you're just telling me what I'm supposed to be again. Like, this is all about you. So, let them. I know you're reading the Let Them Theory. I know you're listening to the Let Them Theory. So, shout out to Mel Robbins. She's that bitch. Let everybody be, and please, 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 slowly but surely and lovingly be honest with yourself. It'll change your life. I'm here for you. I'm doing it with you. And I can't wait to see you in the next episode, y'all. For now, remember that it all begins within. So give yourself a hug and let that shit go. Bye-bye.